Welcome to the Rove Report. I'm your host, British Matt. The world is our show, and we bring you the latest and greatest updates and travel news across the country and across the Atlantic. Each week, we will try and bring you the most relevant topics on restrictions and recommendations so that you can plan better, travel better, and live better. We are all living through unprecedented times right now, and we felt it important to make sure you have a place to come where you can find out positive news on updates and changes that benefit your life. Hilton has announced the US debut of To New Memories, its first global marketing campaign since the onset of the COVID-19 pandemic. The insights-driven initiative reflects consumers' desire to reconnect with the people and places that they love. The campaign comes on the heels of a new survey uncovering that travel memories are some of the happiest memories of consumers' lives, according to 89% of survey respondents, suggesting that most Americans, 188 million of them, would say that they are experiencing what we call a travel memory deficit. The global marketing effort, first launched in September in China, the United Kingdom, and Germany, rolled out yesterday in the US and Saudi Arabia. As a catalyst for memories for more than 100 years, Hilton developed the campaign to inspire consumers to move from dreaming to planning their next trip to create new memories. In the US, To New Memories encompasses heartwarming TV advertisements, online videos, and other digital and social content. The US creative was directed by acclaimed Hollywood writer and director Rick Famuyiwa, best known for directing episodes of The Mandalorian, as well as critically appraised films. The World Travel and Tourism Council met with the most travel and tourism CEOs and leaders ever last week at the 2020 G20 meeting in Saudi Arabia. President and CEO of the WTTC, Gloria Guevara, called the virtual G20 meeting a historic gathering, saying, "The nature of this meeting cannot be underestimated, with this being the first time so many travel and tourism leaders have been invited to sit in the same forum to establish a tangible plan to save the travel and tourism sector." WTTC presented a potentially game-changing 24-point plan, which includes 12 points for the private sector and 12 for the public sector, outlining measures to accelerate the recovery of international travel. WTTC's economic modeling suggests that roughly 100 million jobs may be saved if international governments and their private sector counterparts are able to collaboratively implement the steps called for by its proposal. From the public sector, WTTC's plan calls for international standardization on health regimens, COVID-19 testing protocols, and contact tracing programs to eliminate quarantines and travel barriers. It also calls upon governments to establish air corridors connecting regions that demonstrate similar conditions, and for countries to support promotional campaigns aimed at attracting back travelers. Although Cuba had started reopening back in July, Varadero is the latest area of Cuba to reopen to tourism, officially allowing visitors on October the 15th. The government wanted to reopen slowly so they would monitor the effects of tourism safely, and now that Cuba has been open for 3 months, they have decided Varadero will be the next section to welcome to tourists. In order to do this responsibly, local authorities have created a tourism corridor which will contain all tourists to particular areas, reducing any chance of accidental transmission. Jamaica was the first to introduce a tourism corridor in their reopening strategies, and we are seeing more and more take on this strategy. Within the tourism corridor, tourists will have a choice of several 4- or 5-star hotels, a golf course, 2 marinas, dolphin park, 2 shopping plazas, and additional services like restaurants, shops, and cafes. The director of the Cuba Tourist Board echoed that their first and foremost priority is the safety of their clients and staff, so during this initial stage, events and activities will be limited to the approved area. This does mean that the tourists under no circumstances can leave the safe tourist zone, which means they can't visit the rest of the island and locals cannot enter the tourist zone. On arrival, tourists must show a hotel reservation, and they are limiting visitors to accepting air-only passengers for the moment. On arrival at the airport, you will be tested for COVID-19. After your test is taken, you will be asked to quarantine in your hotel for 24 hours awaiting the test result. If negative, you can enjoy the rest of your vacation. The major benefit to travelers is that the test is provided for free and you do not need to take a PCR test in your home country prior to departure. Croatia have been positioning themselves to be the world's top digital nomad destination, with reports of an official remote working visa tweeted by their Prime Minister. During the pandemic, more people than ever before have been working from home, which has motivated many governments to take advantage of remote workers and launch new digital nomad type visas. Countries like Bermuda, Barbados, Estonia, and Georgia have all jumped on the trend, with Croatia lining up to be one of the most attractive contenders to join on the movement. Unlike Bermuda and Barbados, Croatia has a much more affordable cost of living, one of the key requirements in every digital nomad's wish list. Also, when Croatia does officially launch their remote work visa, they will be the second nation in the EU to have one, with considerably better year-round weather than Estonia. All those perks paired with Croatia being open to all nations during the pandemic makes the nation an incredibly alluring country to consider. Now that more people are working from home than ever before, the digital nomad lifestyle in Croatia is an extremely real and viable option for so many professionals. Office workers who once thought they'd never expand past the cubicle are now reimagining their lives working and living abroad, and Croatia is bound to be top of mind. Even seasoned nomads who've been around the circuit for some time are looking for new scenery, and Croatia is one of the most enticing destinations out there. And that's all we have for this episode, but remember to check in each week for the latest updates in restrictions and recommendations. Thank you for your earbuds, and make sure to subscribe so you get notified of the next episode, where we bring you updates to help you plan better, travel better, and live better. It's no question that COVID-19 has changed all of our lives, but what's important is that we have an optimistic outlook on the future in travel and tourism and still live our lives every day to the best of our abilities. We have no doubts that COVID-19 has made travel a lot more complicated, but we can assure you that tourism boards all around the world are doing their very best to ensure your safety and security, and also give you a platform to travel once again. As your British host living in North America, operating an informative media company all around the world, be sure to stay healthy and happy, and we'll see you next week.